I love tie-dye, and I never actually thought I put this together, but you're gonna do a
Southwest tie-dye.
I'm very curious. This has me intrigued. Can you give me a hint at
Some
colors?
very warm, summery colors. You're gonna feel like you're down in Arizona, down in the desert.
Sunset, sunrise.
It's gonna be kind of groovy. So, we'll see.
You have piqued my interest. I can't wait to see this.
Okay, so today we're going to do a Southwest tie-dye design in two different ways, and we're going to use from our Mission Control, Taser, Power Up, and Sonic. Okay, so we'll get started with our tie-dye design. I'm going to start by pushing back the cuticles, and again, we're going to do this design in two different ways. We're going to do the design over the top of a finished nail, and then we're also going to do the design inlaid underneath the gel. We're going to do our same prep for both nails. Just going to come in with my medium grit arbor band and just lightly remove the shine from the nail. Again, same thing on both nails. Okay, we're going to go ahead and dust off the nail, and then we're going to come in with our swipe. We're going to pump a little bit of the swipe onto our manicure brush. Dust that nail off. Get all the germs and bacteria off the nail so we have a nice clean, fresh nail to do our application. We're going to come in with 2 coats of our protein bond. Protein bond is going to work like a double-sided tape, so it's going to leave a sticky surface on the nail, but it's going to stick down and adhere whatever product we put on top. 1 coat of protein bond works okay. We always recommend using 2 coats just to make sure you have that added security that you know your nail is going to stay on. So I've gone through all 5 nails on this hand, go through all 5 nails on your second hand, and then come back and do your second coat on your nails. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sculpt these nails one at a time so you can see the procedure all the way through. I'm going to put the little tab on the back of my form, pinch my form together nice and even. Open that up just a little bit, and I'll slide that form underneath the nail. Okay, so we're going to start by building out our extension, and I am using our Concealer Pink Precision Applicator Gel. I'm going to start by squeezing just a little bit right into the center of our extension, and then stop squeezing and lightly bring that product out to your edge. Come back to the center, squeeze a little bit more, and then again come back out to the edge, just enough to connect that product. Then I'm just going to use the tip of the applicator just to kind of feather that product down to build out our extension. I like to come in again with my gel brush. I'm going to use my ceramic tile, clean out my brush, kind of bring it to a nice wedge. I'm going to use the edge of my brush, push in and up into the corner to get that gel to really adhere up it all the way into that corner, and then slide down. That way you're going to get a nice clean crisp edge and you won't have a lot of product overhanging. Okay. Same thing on the other side. Bring my brush back to a wedge, use the edge of the brush, push that product up into the corner, and then slide down. Okay. Then if you feel like you want to, you can come back in, clean up your free edge, perfect your shape a little bit more so you have less filing to do at the end. We're going to pop this into the light. This time we're only going to go in about 30 seconds. Now we're going to come back in with our base gel. The base gel is one of the few gels that we're actually going to press into the nail rather than float onto the nail. When you're applying your base gel, you really want to make sure that you're getting that pressed down into the nail so it gets into all the little nooks and crannies of the nail. I'm also going to extend it over that extension that we just built just to make sure that it seals from my extension to the nail bed and we don't have any cracking right at that seam. We'll come back into our light. On this one you can go in for a minimum 30 seconds, but up to a minute if you're working on your other hand, as long as this hand is in the light while you're working on the other hand. At this point we're going to go ahead and take our form off, You're going to make sure that you either pinch together and release that form completely from that extension. If you don't feel like it's releasing completely, you can always come in with your magic wand or your spatula, whichever one you prefer, and that'll help to release the form. But you want to be careful because you don't have a whole lot of product on there right now. So if you were to just grab that form and yank it down, it's going to pull that whole extension off. So definitely make sure that you've released it completely from the product, and then pull down, and then you can release that form. Okay, we're going to go ahead and build the rest of the body of the nail. I'm going to again keep my nail angled downward so that gravity is going to work with me instead of against me, and keep my product flowing down the length of the nail rather than back into that cuticle area. Okay, so I'm going to start again by squeezing out a little product at my cuticle area. I'm going to now just kind of touch the surface and do little circles all the way around that cuticle. Come back all the way back around the cuticle. Okay, come to the center, squeeze a little bit more, work that product out to the side. Come to the center, squeeze a little more. Now you can kind of swing back and forth just to move that product down the nail. As you come into the center, squeeze a little bit more, work out to the center, squeeze a little bit more, and just work that all the way down the body of the nail. When you get close to that end, stop squeezing and just take the applicator tip and just feather that down so that you have a nice thin tapered free edge. Release. I'm actually going to come back in with my brush. If you feel like maybe you didn't get quite close enough to the cuticle, you can always come in with your brush and just kind of push that product just a little bit closer to your cuticle. Again, you want to make sure that you're not touching any skin or cuticle. If you do end up touching the skin or the cuticle, grab your orange wood stick and make sure to clean any product off the skin. You want to make sure you clean that off before you do cure the nail so that you don't get any lifting issues. So again, I'm going to bring that as close as I can to my sidewalls. Cure this one for the full 1 minute, and that's going to cure the nail all the way through. Again, we're going to come back in with our swipe. Use a little bit of that on our wipes and wipe off that tacky surface. This nail is ready to be filed, and we'll do our design after we've finished all the nails. Okay, we'll go ahead and start our second nail. Now this nail, we're going to actually do the design in the nail and then overlay it with a gel. We've already got the nail prepped. We've pushed back the cuticles. We've removed the shine. We've got 2 coats of our protein bond on there. We're going to come back in with our form, and we'll sculpt our extension. We'll get that form right up underneath the nail. Again, if you're working on a real client rather than the practice hand, I would recommend opening up that tab up top. So we're going to change this one up a little bit. Instead of doing just the solid color, because we're doing our design in the nail, I'm going to switch to using just clear gel. So I'm going to start with our clear sculptor, again in the precision applicators. Same exact process of building out our extension. I'm going to squeeze a little product onto the free edge, bring that up into the corner, come back, squeeze a little bit more, bring that up into the corner. Now when you're working with clear, it's going to be a little bit harder to see, so just keep a good eye on it that your product's not running. But again, we're going to just use the tip and just feather that forward. Now we're making an active length nail, so we're not building out a really long extension. If you were going to build out a little bit longer, go ahead and squeeze out a little bit more product and bring it as far down onto the form as you want. Again, I'm going to use that same technique. Bring your brush back to a wedge. Use the edge of your brush. Use the edge of your brush, tuck up into the corner, push up, and then slide forward. Clean off your brush again. Come to the other side, tuck up into the corner, and slide forward. We'll clean up that free edge a little bit. Again, with your clear, it's a little bit trickier to see, but just do the best you can, and you can always do your filing and perfecting of your shape at the end. Okay, we'll go ahead and get that into our light. Another 30-second freeze. Again, we're going to come back in with our base gel. And we're going to brush that again from cuticle all the way through the free edge. Sometimes I like to add just a little bit more right at that seam if I feel like maybe there was a little bit more of a gap. Again, just to make sure that that's sealed so when I take my form off, I don't have that extension crack off. One more time back into the light for another 30 seconds. Again, at this point, I'm going to take my form off, making sure to pinch it and release that product. I come back in with my spatula, make sure that it is completely released, and then we'll take our form. Okay, so at this point, now we're going to go ahead and start our design. I'm going to use my 3 colors. We've got Sonic, Power Up, and Taser, and I'm going to use our striper brush. One little trick that I like to do, I'm going to clean off my mixing tile here. And I'm going to put down a little bit of, I'm just going to use our base gel, just a clear gel that's a little bit on the thinner side. And I'm going to use that for cleaning out my brush in between colors. Just a little bit on the side there. Okay, so we're going to go in with our first color. And then we're just going to alternate all the way through. And then we'll do the tie-dye part. I'm just going to come right up around that cuticle. If you do need to get a little bit closer once you've got the design done, we can do that and kind of touch up after we're done filing. But for now, get as close as you can. I'm just going to drag out the extra color out of my brush and then just really quick drag it through the clear to get rid of any last little bits of that color and bring my brush back to a point. I'm just rolling it to a point. So in between each colors, that's an easy way to clean out your brush so you don't have to use a wipe or anything like that. So again, just kind of follow through with your colors, clean out your brush in between, roll it to a point, and you're on to your next color. And don't worry if your lines aren't perfectly straight or even. That's kind of the fun part of this tie-dye design, is it doesn't have to be. Okay, I'm going to come back to my first color, pull a generous amount across, clean out, and into my second color. You're going to do this all the way down to the end of the nail, and usually I like to stop with the same color that I started with. It's a personal preference. You do your design how you like. I just like to start and end with the same. Alright, we've got room for one last little bit of our first color right at the end. Okay, now's where we get to do the tie-dye. So I'm going to again clean out my brush, get that to a nice point. I'm going to start in the center. I like to start in the center of the design. That way I feel like I get more even spacing all the way throughout the rest of the design. We'll start in the teal, just pull all the way down the nail. Clean out your brush in between each swipe and come back to the other side. You can kind of see there's a couple of spots up near that cuticle that I am going to touch up and kind of fill in that space, but I'm going to actually do that once we've cured the nail. It'll be just a quick, easy touch up to fix. We'll do just a quick 30 seconds on this one, enough to freeze it into place. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and touch up a couple of edges here. Just put in just a little bit more color. So it's okay. You know, if you miss a little edge, go ahead and just touch it up and I'll be fine. Okay. Just going to pop that in the light really quick just to freeze that into place. We're going to go ahead and overlay our nail with our Build Pink. I'm going to pick up a large pearl of that. Again, I'm going to angle the finger downward. I'm going to drop that right down at my cuticle area. Do small circles around the cuticle, back up to the top, down around the other side of the cuticle, and then just with my brush kind of floating over the top of the product, just draw that down through the body of the nail. Okay, if you feel like you need to pick up a little bit more product, go ahead. And continue to cap that nail. Alright, I think we've got enough product on there. We're going to go into the light. Now this time, because I put a larger amount of the gel onto the nail, the gel will get warm if you put it into the light on high power. So I'm actually going to use our low power mode to start with, and that's going to gradually bring the light up and cure the nail all the way through without having that heat spike. We're going to use a little bit of swipe, clean off that tacky surface later, and we'll go ahead and file up both of the nails, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to do the design over the top. Okay, so we've got both of our nails filed out. Now we're going to go ahead and do the design on the top of the nail. So we're going to go ahead and do our design. We're going to put just a little bit of a different twist just to give you a little bit more options with your design. This time I'm going to do a little bit more of a rounded shape. So I'm going to start, this time we'll start right down by the point of the nail. And just come around. We're going to do basically the same technique that we did on the first nail. I can take out that extra, a little bit of my base gel, clean it out, and go into my next color. We're just going to continue this shape all through the nail, and then we'll drag our colors. You can see on a couple of these sides I'm not getting all the way to the edge. I'll show you how to touch those up when we're all done here. Okay, and I'm going to end my design with the color that I started with. I'm going to clean out my brush. So on the first nail that we did, on this one here, I only pulled the brush in one direction. On this one, I'm going to show you how to go in both directions. So just like that first one, we're going to start in one direction. Clean your brush out after every swipe. I'm going to leave a little bit more space in between my lines on this one. That way we can come back from the other direction. Okay. Now I'm going to start from the top and just pull right in between. Okay, let's go ahead and freeze that into place for another 10 seconds, and then I'll touch up my edges. So anywhere that I need to touch up my edges, I'll just pick up a little bit of color and just drag right around the edge. If you're someone who struggles with polishing a nail, this is also a good technique to use for that. So you can get a little bit closer with your regular polishes or your gel polishes. Just use your striper brush. Okay, so we got a couple of little touch-ups done. Just going to clean up right around my edges here, and then we'll go ahead into the light for a quick 10-second cure again. We're going to go ahead and top coat these nails, and you can use whichever top coat you prefer. This one is the Manicure top coat. Okay, now that we've got our nails top coated, we're going to go into the light for one final cure of 60 seconds. We're going to take that out of the light, and because we use the manicure top coat, we're going to use the manicure cleanser to wipe off that tacky surface. And then we'll go ahead and finish up the rest of the set, and we'll show you the final product.
Now it's time for my favorite game that makes a lot of mentors cringe. Karen, how much?
Everything. All of the monies, all of the monies.
You know what? You just need one. You just need one person to do it, and you're set for life, right?
Yep.
But I don't have all that, so how much am I paying?
Okay, so we'll start at just the full set price.
Okay.
My full set is going to start at $85, and then all of the extra art is going to be in addition to that.
Okay.
So in this set, we did a glitter, so that's going to be an extra $5, so we're up to $90.
Mhm.
And we did 3 different colors in our tie-dye. So that's going to be a total of $105 today.
Ooh, you are quick on the math. I like it. I think it's very reasonable for this beautiful Southwest tie-dye. I didn't know what it was going to look like, but it is beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Young Nails is committed to giving you the best nail education in the world. Check out more of our videos. Head right over here. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and do that by clicking right over here.